Since it's the peak of summer, we're all trying to find recreational ways to keep ourselves cool. To aid this, amusement parks worldwide have devised the best solution to ramp up the thrill and tackle the heat with a cold splash. After all, who wouldn't want to speed down a slippery, steep slide and hit the cold, refreshing water on a scorching July afternoon? Although most water slides are pretty safe and you can have fun in these with children too, the ones on this list today are far from it. If you're a thrill seeker and want to challenge yourself a little, or if you want to prove to your friends nothing scary can faze you, some of these slides are a pretty good place to start. But before we dive in, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe and click the notification bell for more such amazing content. Number 10. Insano Brazil Beach Park, Brazil. As the name suggests, the Insano slide is a pretty steep one. It's situated at the beach of Porto das Dunas in Aqueiros in Brazil. The slide is so tall even the bravest get jitters when they take the plunge. It's definitely no place for the people who fear heights. The nearly vertical slide is around 41 meters in height, and it sends you down a super steep path only to push you into the exit pool at the bottom. It's not a new one, however, being inaugurated in the year 1989, and at the time it was the tallest water slide in the entire world. Just because it's a simple slide doesn't mean it's a piece of cake. In fact, the employees often say that the best part of their day is seeing the sliders panic from fear at the top of the slide, and some even get so frightened that they end up crying all the way down to the pool. That's pretty devilish of the staff, don't you think? The ride is merely 5 seconds long, but the steepness causes the riders to lose contact with the slide and they sometimes become airborne during the drop, which is probably the most dangerous part. Because this is quite risky, the sliders are initially given instructions on how to ride it and stick to the guidelines. You're supposed to remain on your back and keep the arms and legs crossed. This not only keeps the slider safe, but also gives them time to enjoy the magnificent view of the Atlantic Ocean while they travel down instead of crying from fear of dying. The Insano is no longer the tallest slide in the world, but it's still the fastest one on which sliders have been recorded to achieve a speed of up to a whopping 65 miles per hour. That's definitely bound to make your heart skip a beat or two. Number 9. The Aqualoop Wet n Wild, Gold Coast, Australia. This one is a near vertical water slide, and with a heart-thumping drop of 10 meters, the sliders are in for the scare of their lives. The drop ends at an inclined pool where the cold water greets you with a huge splash. Because of its design, the ride is a mere 7 seconds, but during these 7 seconds the riders can reach a speed of 60 kilometers per hour or more, all the while experiencing the G-force of 2.5. This slide is the brainchild of Whitewater West Aquariana, and its design relies on the riders achieving a speed high enough to get them around the entire loop. And because of this, there's a slight risk that some riders might not make it to the end. A woman once sued the park for a whopping $400,000 after getting stuck on the slide and was unable to make the loop and was stuck at the bottom of it. She managed to get out through an escape hatch but sustained several injuries. Despite this incident, the Aqualoop's popularity has only grown, and it attracts hordes of people every year seeking a thrilling slide into the pool. No wonder the park is the busiest water park in Australia. Number 8. The Black Hole, Wet n Wild, Orlando, Florida. The Black Hole is the famous ride of what we consider to be America's first ever water park. This park is owned by NBC Universal, and it was founded by the owner of SeaWorld. This is not like any of the colourful and exhilarating slides we've talked about. This black hole looks menacing and is pretty difficult for those with claustrophobia. That's probably the reason why it has faced numerous lawsuits over time, and one of these resulted in a $1.73 million payout to a man who ended up getting badly injured in the year 1994 while he hit something during the ride. The problem with this ride is the timing. It takes around 23 seconds for the two-person tube to end, but the staff has been instructed to send people down every 20 seconds. This time difference leads to the problem of people not safely exiting the ride before the next rider arrives. Another problem is the darkness inside the hole. Since the slide is basically a black tube, the lighting is pretty poor, and if you're an unlucky person, this might not work in your favour. Number 7. The Steamer Water Slide, Calypso Water Park, Ontario. The Steamer slide is pretty famous for being a very dangerous tube slide and has repeatedly injured riders over the years. In the year 2015, the Calypso Water Park had to face 20 separate lawsuits from different people who were injured by or during the ride. The riders of the slide have to sit on a tube that speeds down a dark tunnel and spin around a wall. Although when authorities investigated the ride, they discovered that an area of buckle had developed in the slide that causes the tubes to flip over. Ontario's amusement park rides are overseen by the Technical Standards and Safety Act that has accused the park of negligence and lacking proper equipment to ensure the riders' safety. Most charges against the park were dismissed. Despite that, the park was found guilty on 6 accounts and had to suffer a payout of around $500,000 in damages caused to the riders. The amount of injuries occurring here are evidence enough to prove that this water slide is quite dangerous, and everyone should think twice before buying a ticket to ride it. Number 6. The Vertigo Slide, Spain. The Vertigo Slide is currently the highest water slide in all of Europe and also the highest capsule slide in the world. It was opened for business in the year 2013 and was built in around 2.5 months. At 110 feet, this slide is no joyride for the faint-hearted. The slide is actually a pair of 2 slides, the green one being shorter than the red. Sliders are supposed to stand against a closed door operated by an employee. When the trapdoor is released, the sliders are plunged down a 3-second thrilling journey, reaching a speed of 100 km per hour before they end up falling in the connected pool. The ride and its speed is quite dangerous, but that's not all. The trapdoor can be as ominous as the slide. In July 2014, the trapdoor malfunctioned when it failed to fully open, causing a man to get severely injured when he was sent through the partially opened trapdoor. Although the man and his injuries were attended by the park staff, the slide was reopened for riders merely 10 minutes after the incident. Obviously, this event led to some negative publicity for the slide, but it's evident from the business it sees annually that no one paid much heed to it. Number 5. Cannonball Falls Action Park, New Jersey. It's been established that the actual Cannonball Falls slide isn't that dangerous, but we can't be sure about the end point of the slide that catapults the rider down a 10-foot drop into the pool below. This fall has resulted in countless injuries to riders and has been a problem since the day this ride was opened up to the public. It's safe to say that Cannonball Falls has the highest number of reported injuries among all the water slides in the entire state of New Jersey. Many sliders have ended up with shoulder, neck and head injuries resulting from the 10-foot drop into the water. Authorities told the park to shut the slide down at one point, but the slide remained open anyway and the riders kept coming to test their fate on this injury machine. But it's not surprising since Cannonball Falls is located in Action Park, New Jersey, which is quite notorious for its dangerous rides and has been nicknamed the Accident Park or Class Action Park because of the numerous injuries reported here every year. Number 4. The Scorpion's Tail Noah's Ark Water Park, Wisconsin. Noah's Ark Water Park is pretty huge and a major attraction for the people of Wisconsin state. It's spread over a 70-acre area with more than 50 attractions. It's actually the largest water park in the United States, and that's not it, because it also boasts one of the most dangerous water slides in the world. This menacing water slide is called the Scorpion's Tail, and it sends its riders down a harrowing ride, leaving them shaking for days to come. With its 55-foot drop ending in a 70-degree angle plunge and the 60-degree angle loop, you're in for the experience of a lifetime. In 2010, when the slide opened, it was the only water slide in the world that had a complete loop-de-loop, and it was also the only upside-down looping body slide. This one is, however, not the fastest among the popular slides. Riders tend to reach a speed of 30 miles per hour on the 400-foot-long slide. Riders are supposed to wait in a coffin-like chamber before the floor falls from beneath them and they're plunged down, and by the time they reach the loop, they're around 27 feet in the air. With its humongous structure, this ride took close to a whopping $1 million to build, and despite being dangerous, it has managed to become a cult favorite for the crowds of thrill-seeking sliders. Number 3. The Leap of Faith Atlantis Water Park, Bahamas. This is definitely the most beautifully constructed water slide on our list. It sits on a stunning mine-themed temple. Although the beautiful setting has failed to soften the blow of fear caused by this water slide, which has been deemed one of the scariest in the world. The Leap of Faith opened in 1998 and it consists of an almost vertical 60-foot drop. The drop, however, isn't the only frightening thing, because once the drop is over, the riders are sent through a lagoon of actual sharks. The sliders are safe inside a clear acrylic tunnel, but a glass wall will surely fail in keeping fear at bay when you're whooshing past threatening sharks approaching you from all sides. Some sharks are literally inches away from the rider. The hammerheads and Caribbean reef sharks swim freely in the lagoon as the riders rush past them in the enclosed tube, hoping nothing goes wrong here. Number 2. The Verrückt Schlitterbahn Water Park, Kansas City. Verrückt is the word for crazy or insane in the German language, and like its name, the slide was bound to be a total hit as soon as it opened in July 2014. At the time of its inauguration, it was the tallest waterslide in the entire world. At 168 feet, it cost a huge amount of $3.6 million to build. Though it gained popularity as the tallest waterslide in the world, it also became a part of history when an accident that occurred on the slide led to the criminal arrest of the park owner. A 10-year-old boy was killed in the ride when his raft went airborne. On investigation, it was found that there were quite some unsafe aspects of the slide. The net surrounding the slide and the restraints on the rafts were both deemed unsafe. The ride should have had a stop mechanism installed for keeping the rafts from going airborne. In all honesty, this was a dangerous and poorly built slide that didn't meet the safety standards and was therefore shut down on August 7, 2016. Number 1. The Cannonball Loop, Action Park, New Jersey. If you didn't believe us when we told you that Action Park, New Jersey is infamous for its threatening rides, you'll believe us now. This park has managed to score 2 spots on our list, and for good reason. Action Park is home to the most dangerous waterslide ever built. One look at this Cannonball Loop will have you running in the other direction if you have even the slightest knowledge of basic physics and safety. This loop was an enclosed waterslide with a complete vertical loop at the end. It's quite famous for the disturbing stories associated with it. The ride was so dangerous that even before the ride was officially opened, the owner had reportedly offered the employees $100 to try out the slide. These employees suffered numerous injuries and nosebleeds while trying this out. Also, when a dummy was sent down the slide, it came out the other side headless. But despite these red flags, the slide went into business, and shortly after its opening, a woman ended up getting stuck at the top of the loop. This incident forced the park to install an escape hatch to prevent it from happening again. This ride, however, did not last long and was shut down by the Advisory Board on Carnival Amusement Park Ride Safety after 1 month, and rightfully so. We hope you enjoyed this account of all the dangerous water slides in the world. Do tell us in the comments which one you found most frightening. We'll look forward to your feedback. We'll be back soon with another amazing video for you guys. Until then, have a great time.